Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. My name is Mitchell Coleman, and I am an alcoholic, and I have your daily reflections for November 1st, the beginning of November. This one comes from page 85, and it is titled, I can't remember what page it is. Anyway, it's titled, I Cannot Change the Wind. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. And that is from the Big Book, page 85. My first sponsor told me there were two things to say about prayer and meditation. First, I had to start, and second, I had to continue. When I came to AA, my spiritual life was bankrupt, if I considered God at all. He was to be called upon only when my self-will was incapable of a task or when overwhelming fears had eroded my ego. Today I am grateful for a new life, one in which my prayers are those of thanksgiving. My prayer time is more for listening than for talking. I know today that if I cannot change the wind, I can't adjust my sail. I know the difference between the superstition and spirituality. Between superstition and spirituality. I know there is a graceful way of being right, in many ways to be wrong. I'm excited for this month. This is cool. The whole spiritual side of it, which could be touchy in AA, but we all are to find a higher power in it. And it's just so cool. I found myself a lot talking about calling on God for help and my higher power. I seem to only do it in the bad times when really it's something you can do all the time. You don't just need to call for help. I mean, you could listen to it. So first, why is it a subtle foe, alcohol? For me, because as an alcoholic that doesn't continue to work on my sobriety on a daily basis, I can slip back into the thoughts of, I can handle it now. I'll just drink on my day off or my favorite. I'll just have a few and stop. And I have to remember why I quit in the first place. So what caused me to quit in the first place? And that's what I have to remember. It has to stay on our mind always why we quit, because our brains will go back, and it's a subtle foe. It's cunning and baffling, and our minds are not like other people's minds. We are addicts, and we don't drink normal. We don't do any substances normal, like mind-altering substances. So I have to remember why I quit in the first place. What caused it to get to this point where it's a life or death situation for me, and why on God's green earth would I think it will be different this time? And that's where I'm at. It took me many a times in the past, like 10, 15 years, whatever it is, of quitting and going back, quitting and going back, quitting and going back. And that is, as we all know, insane. And it's not going to be different this time. We just can't do that. It's just not smart. It's the same. There's a story in the Big Book about the jaywalker that I talk about, where he walks across the street, gets hit. Okay. And then he does it again. He gets out, gets hit, does it again, almost dies, does it again, dies, whatever. And it's just, that's us with alcohol. It's perfect. It's the same as the pothole analogy. We think we figured it out. I know where the pothole is. And then you drive down the road and you hit a different pothole. And then you drive down the road and you hit another pothole. And then you get better. And then you think you know the road and you drive off a cliff. And that's a metaphor, for life, where if we continue down this path, it's going to lead to a not good place. So it won't be different. And I have to remember that. Got to stay strong on that. And, also, this can be very subtle in the moments in your life when you have maintained constant long-term sobriety. And that, again, like I said, I'd reach like a year, I'd reach 2 years, and you think you have it. You get your life back together. You're feeling great. You got a good job. You're very comfortable in life. Your relationships are good. Along comes a nice sunny day, and people are going to the beach, or people are going to the park, or people are just, having a barbecue, whatever the case may be. And it sounds nice, and they're drinking, and that's where it can be subtle. And in your mind, you're like, man, you start thinking, why can't I do that? I want to go enjoy drinks with my friends. And again, you got to go back to, I've tried this before. I can't. I'm not going to just drink with them. I'm going to go drink with them, and then I'm going to go get wasted afterward. And it's going to continue to happen every day after that. So it is what it is. Life is so beautiful without drinking. It's just amazing. It's a very beautiful thing, and you will get the good days and the bad days, but you just got to fight through that. Also, it talks about meditation and your constant contact with your higher power and meditation. Why is meditation important? There are many forms of meditation, but for me, it's when I'm wanting to go deep into my awareness of my consciousness. And this is some really cool stuff I've been learning about. When I'm having any feelings of anxiety, depression, restlessness, or cravings, I can sit and close my eyes, if only for a moment, and breathe. Be aware that I am not these feelings. I am much, much more. I am only the witness to these feelings. They are not me. I am the soul that resides inside of this body, and with this body comes thoughts, a ton of thoughts. When I quiet myself and witness these thoughts, I can realize my power of choice. And this is so deep because I've kind of mentioned it before. It's that whole we are aware of these thoughts that are constantly going on in our heads, whether it be about alcohol, whatever the case may be. We constantly have this dialogue going on in our own heads. And we think a lot of different stuff. And if you could take all those thoughts and imagine them in a person with you, a person next to you constantly saying all this stuff, you wouldn't want to take advice from that person because it's just back and forth, back and forth. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. But the really cool deep part is that we are aware that we're thinking about it. And that's what separates us, and we go deeper into ourselves, to that much, much more that we are. We know we're much more than that. We are not these thoughts. The thoughts are pretty much an object that we are witnessing. So whatever your religion may be, there is a higher power in all of us. If you have any sort of thoughts, that could be your higher power. There's something very special inside of you, whether you believe that's Jesus Christ or Buddha or your soul. We are aware of our consciousness, and it has always been in us since we were born. It has never changed. It has just been in this shell, getting bigger and bigger. And along with this body comes these thoughts, our mind. We are not the thoughts. Because if we did everything we thought, we would be real dumb. So to sit back in meditation and realize these thoughts when I'm having this, if I'm having an angry moment, I sit back and look at that. I'm feeling angry. And I look at that and wait, why am I angry? That's not even me. So I am that deeper entity. I am that soul, that higher power inside of me. Again, my opinion, but if you think, you could think about this, you could look at stuff and you could ponder it, and just remember, you're not your thoughts, you're not these cravings, you're not your anger, anxiety, yet you are feeling them. So you can try to help yourself with that, because you're feeling these things and they will affect your body even, but this body is not you. It's not your true self. If someone asked you who you are, you're not going to say, I am this body. You're much more than that. So really, for me, I just need to always be ready to change when life does. When something happens that can affect my thinking on my sobriety, I must stop and focus on what led me here, and also know that my higher power resides in me. And if I take the moment to listen to it in meditation, I will know what's right. It's that consciousness. We know. We have a conscious. We know what's right and wrong. So it's very important to sit and ponder these thoughts when you're having those cravings. Really important with the cravings. You've got to go into it. Play the tape out before you go do it. Imagine yourself if you were to go to that party and drink. Where would it lead? So you can see where it will lead, and it's not going to lead anywhere good. And again, it's not easy in the beginning, but like with most things in life, it's unfamiliar at first, but it gets easier and easier until you can be the master of it. It's the same with anything. Playing guitar, you didn't know how to play it at first. Same with skateboarding. You didn't know anything. I always associate with those things, but it's just something you're learning. You're not going to know it all in the very beginning, but it will get easier and easier, and it will be hard. And I have faith in everyone, and just keep that conscious contact with your higher power. It's very, very important. And that's about it. Got 10 minutes in. I love all you guys. I hope this one helped and kind of made sense. It's really good. Spend some time in meditation. It doesn't have to be long, you know. You can meditate for like 2 seconds. You could just sit calmly and I'm aware of these feelings I'm having. Another cool thing I read is just say hello in your mind to yourself. Hello. Hello in your mind, and be aware of that. It's very hard to explain, but I'll get deeper into it this month with some of these other videos. I'm learning a lot of this from a great book called The Untethered Soul. It's awesome. Either way, I love you guys, and I hope you're all doing good. And please reach out to me if you're ever having any feelings of doubt. If you have any questions, leave comments below. I'm always here to help, unless I'm working, which I'm working now. But it's an easy night. I love you guys. Remember, one day at a time, just one day at a time. Evaluate those thoughts. Don't react on your first thoughts. Meditate on the feelings and play the tape out and see where it leads. And, we'll be fine. Again, it's not easy, but a lot of things in life are not easy. Love you again. Have a blessed day. I'll pass.